finally, we're here with Chakits.
What's up, guys?
How are you, dude?
Exactly, Chakits.
Guys, I just practiced. How many times did I practice your name?
Tons of times.
Like literally dozens. But your name's not that hard. I'm just
it's all right. It's Chakits, but sometimes people call me Charles, Chris, so you're excused.
Perfect. Well, Chakits.
Yep.
We are on our way to go check out my properties.
Yep.
We're gonna go look at my house, and we're gonna talk about your channel where you've gotten millions of views with people looking at these high-end homes in Las Vegas. You're actually a realtor in Vegas. What this means is we're gonna have to take another trip out to Vegas.
Yes.
To come and meet up with you again. But with all that being said, we're gonna jump into this video.
All right, let's get at it. So when do you say, you know what, I'm done with this pest control. I'm making too much money in real estate. I'm using this income to buy more.
I don't know that I ever will. I just try and find a way to systemize it, right?
Okay, yeah.
So I definitely see myself taking a more and more passive role every year.
And that's what Ryan's really good at. He can take something and just systemize everything and let it run.
Yeah, it's very true. And there's just a lot to be said for not walking away from something you've spent 10 years building.
Yeah, that's true. It's kind of crazy because we come from like completely two opposite
different places.
backgrounds.
That's what I love about this space though. It's really cool.
But what's crazy is like in my younger days, like I was totally opposite the way you probably grew up. But now it's like I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I don't do any of that. But my focus is just on my business, and those are just kind of like my hobbies. Because people are like, dude, you got all this money, what do you do? It's like there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
I just like real estate, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
But what was crazy is that I became a realtor because I knew that real estate investing was the way to go. And I used to own this small little mobile detailing business. And this is back when we didn't have like these phones, right? And this is when you had those iPods, I think it was, where you had to like download like music, MP3 players. So I was listening to this guy, Judson Boss from Charlotte, North Carolina, and he was doing like tons of subject to properties, right? For existing financing. So I flew out there for 2 days. I spent 2 days with him. I was like learning the ropes. So I came back to Vegas. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do subject twos. So I started doing the research. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a little bit difficult. It can be done, but it just didn't work for my marketplace at that time. So I was like, you know what, why don't I just become a real estate agent where I can learn the contracts and learn the ropes? And this is when the market had tanked. I'm talking about when homes were $400,000, you can buy them for like $60,000. So I got in, I started working with investors. So I was basically using their money and making them money and finding them deals. And I was accumulating, you know, cash here and there. But remember, when you're making only $80,000, right? I'm sorry, when you're only making like $2,000 on that $80,000 deal, that's not that much. You have to kind of like stack up and scale. And that's the only way to buy investment properties. I mean, you got to stack your money. So as I was stacking, I was also learning. But then I came to the point where, you know, I got one property and then I got two properties. Then I started like, you know, flipping one or here. I'd buy a property, right? Put it under contract and just flip the paper. And I just started collecting cash and, you know, buying another property. But now it just came to a point where it's just like, you know what? Keep stacking on the cash. I realized single family residence is not for me. I want to go for the gusto.
James, good. We are just pulling in. Sorry, it took us a minute to get rolling. You're probably wondering where we're at.
When you say we're, is there more than one of you? Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, that's his car right there.
All right. We're gonna come get some video of your tow truck.
Oh.
All right, I'll see you in a minute.
Oh, yeah. His truck is totaled. Oh, I mean, his Toyota is totaled. Wow. Oh. So check this out. Slight problem. We had to pick up Chandler's video photographer guy, but he was supposed to meet up with us and he couldn't because he just totaled his car right into the ditch. So this is what happens when, right, you drive in the snow.
This was here before.
Isn't that crazy?
Chakits.
Chakits.
Hey, he's saying it a lot better than you, man.
I just feel really bad. You doing all right?
Yeah.
Okay. That sucks, man. It's funny though, I asked you if you were sad about your car and your first answer was, yeah, I'm good because my camera equipment's okay. So, you're the real MVP.
But you know what? I like it. This is great content.
All about the content.
All about the content.
James, how do you feel about the content today?
That's great.
But I also feel bad about it too, though.
That's
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you. Oh, is it sliding?
I kind of forgot we had it in there. Oh, okay. I'm gonna drive really slow.
We don't want it to fly off, because then we'll create new content. I just feel like I'm taking advantage of you guys. You're like hosting everything. You're such a great guy. Your camera guy ends up in a ditch. We're laughing about it, using content towards it, and now we're gonna go over to Garrett's house and eat food.
Yeah.
And he's making it for us while he's waiting. That's like not cool, dude.
It's all good, dude.
All
He'll be
right.
hyped. That's his love language, is making you meet.
Cool. All right, so where are we at, Chandler?
We are at the 32-plex and the 15-plex
Okay.
that I purchased the last year or two.
Okay, and I know that we talked about this earlier, but you're gonna kind of run the numbers or something like that. You were saying? Okay.
Yeah. I'll answer whatever questions you want. We can run you through all of it.
Okay. So real quickly, what did you buy this property at?
So I purchased this property for 2.1, and this property for 1.5.
1.5.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned that you went inside. You made a couple changes earlier, right? And you did an add value, right, to this?
Yeah.
Can you kind of explain to the audience what an add value is?
Yeah. So essentially, we'll use the 32-plex for an example. When I purchased the 32-plex, the rents were on average, I believe it was $496. So they had some down at $460, some at $520, some everywhere between. But average rents for all 32 units were $496. There was some deferred maintenance that needed to be done.
Yeah.
A lot of that is flooring, paint, little things to just spruce them up, make them a place that people want to live and are willing to pay that higher price point for. So after purchasing this, the majority of the rents, we were able to go in and say, hey, with making these changes, with new management, with everything that's going on, we're going to raise rents to $850. However, if you choose to stay here because you're already there, we're going to leave your rents at $800. Now, with some people, we may have negotiated a little bit, $775. The majority of people that stayed are $800, and since then have even been raised because we've owned these for over a year now. The people that didn't want that, we gave them 30-day notice. They've got plenty of time to find somewhere different. They move out. We fill them at $850, and it was funny because once we started filling them, we recognized we could even get 9 out of some of them because there was such a need for it. So now we've taken the average rents from $496 and bumped them up to, you know, somewhere between $850 and $900. As people go out, now we're filling them $900 to $950, depending on the units, continuing to do fixes along the way, keep it running right, take care of the tenants, and just by going in and managing it right, you're able to do that with the property. And what that does is it increases your cash flow a ton.
Okay.
So my monthly revenue has gone way up, so I'm making more there. The biggest thing it's done though is this property was purchased at that $2.1 million. If I wanted to sell it now, I could sell it for over $3 million because of what the rents are at on all of these units.
So how does that determine? How does the bank determine and say, hey, this is worth the $3 million?
So it's not really the bank, it's the market, right? And when you're buying a home, as you know, you look at comparables.
Yeah.
So comparables determine the market for a single family home.
Yeah.
In real estate, it's different because people are looking at the cap rate, the cash on cash return, the overall ROI on a property, and that is what determines the value of the property. And because we've gotten this operating better to where, you know, it's bringing in a lot more money, when they look at it, that's what the market would go. It's not just, oh, this is what it's worth. It's, hey, if we listed it on the market, we would have battles and it would go for over $3 million.
That's great content. All right, let's just walk this property real quick, and that's pretty much it.
Okay, we'll go check it out. So what's really cool about this is I just ran you through what we did on the 32-plex. That was with an owner over here. But you see these garages right here.
Okay.
These are also owned by the same owner. So a year later, after purchasing this, I made it a very easy process on her. She enjoyed working with me. I came back and I said, hey, we want to purchase these ones. So we came in, same situation. The only difference is we had bumped rents over here. So she had told her management company, who, you know, nice guy, but really wasn't getting all he could out of these. She said raise rents. He wasn't doing a very good job. And again, because of mismanagement. So she had bumped a couple of them a little bit, so we weren't able to get as screaming of a deal on this property because some of those rents had been raised. But there was still a ton of value to add to these. They have a 2-car garage where these don't, and they've got a little more square footage. So for these ones, we're able to bump those rents up to $1,100 when they were actually priced similarly to these. So even with her bumps, we're able to come in and add a ton of value to this property as well. So it worked out great because now I've got all of these in the same place.
Makes it easier for you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does.
So how often do you come around here and check out the property?
Just when we make YouTube videos. my management company does everything. So we come, we'll film videos, we'll talk about it. For me, the role I play is finding, purchasing, you know, doing due diligence, getting the deal. After that, you know, it's an hour a month looking at the numbers, making sure they look like they should. And if they do, you know, I'm good to go. The management company takes care of everything else.
So how many units do we have total now here?
So there are 32 here, 15 over here. So that's what, 47?
Yeah, 47 units. So what do you think the property's worth now with both complexes here?
I think both of these together, looks like we've got a car that's trying to get through. Both of these together, I would guess over $5 million.
$5 million?
Easy. Yeah.
Okay. So what's your next goal with this? Are you planning on doing a 1031 exchange, pulling money out of this deal, or?
No, I'm going to milk all the depreciation out of it, and then maybe we'll consider a 1031. The problem is, this is such a big land that I don't want to get rid of this unless it's buying me a deal that's better. And you know, it can happen, and I want it to happen, and I always hope there are more, but every deal I do, I'm like, man, it can't get better than this. Like, I don't know how to ever let this go.
Now, you just mentioned depreciation.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Okay.
So what do you mean by depreciation for the viewers out there?
So this is one of the huge benefits of purchasing real estate, is when you purchase real estate, the government allows you to depreciate that real estate. Doesn't make sense because the property's going up in value, but the government says you can depreciate it on a 27.5-year schedule. That means you can use that depreciation against the income you're making, so you don't have to pay tax on that income. Now, if I ever sell it, then I'm gonna have to pay tax on that income and what it went up in value. But if I 1031 it, I can move that into another property without ever paying the taxes on that. The other thing we do is called cost segregation. I'm not gonna dive into it too much. I don't wanna freak you guys out, but it lets you depreciate it even faster than 27.5 years, so that I have even more to use against my income, so I pay even less taxes.
So it just sounds like owning something like this is just a win-win situation all the way around then, basically.
You win like 10 different ways. You win because of the cash flow, you win because the property is going up in value, you win because you get principal pay down, you win because of all the tax benefits, you can 1031 exchange, like, you win and you win and you win. And that's why when people are saying, oh, like I can make a 20% return in the stock market. First of all, there's a lot of risk if you're making 20% there. But second of all, I'm killing your 20% return. This is like a 60% return if you add all that up.
Perfect, we're done.
All right. We made it. Let's go see what Garrett's got cooking for us.
Which way are we going?
He might be in the garage. Let's go check out here first.
Required anything?
Oh yeah, record all this of us like heading over and in. Whew. Red Bull ready.
I know.
He's got like half a dozen different
going.
smokers. Yeah, did you see the one that tipped over
yeah.
that you had over there? What's up?
What's up, Garrett? Hey, I'm your sponsor, bro. You're getting sponsored right now. There you go, man. So now you gotta drink like 5 of them at one time. See what happens.
Now I gotta show you something.
Okay, good.
All right, you got to get him opening it up, James.
Oh my gosh.
I was ready for you.
Look at that. Woo-hoo-hoo.
You're the goat.
Oh my gosh.
Hopefully
You're the man.
No, wait, man. Nice to meet you.
Same here, dude.
All right, dude, what do you got cooking for us? Do we get to take a peek?
Yeah, you can peek.
Oh, let's peek. Look at this.